Hi, folks, and welcome back to EGFC here on week 9. I am Waffles for Sid, and I will now be joining Worst Cast here with you on the broadcast. Worst, how are you doing and feeling after those last couple of games?
Yep, feeling very good. They were both 3-0s, but the second one was quite a close 3-0. It's one of those ones where it's like, it's not like so close that it's like, oh, one team fight could have decided every map, but it was close enough to like, it's a competitive series. Um, and I think that's kind of, I think it's going to be more competitive now because we have two very strong teams facing off right now. Wichita and Arlington both in the top half of the standings, which is completely different to the last time. The last two matches were one in the top half, one in the bottom half, and despite last match being the bottom half team winning, as my camera explodes and I'm going to the death realm, the void beckons.
I guess so for you on that end. We'll work
Mm.
on getting that sorted out, but thankfully we can still hear you. You're right. We do have Arlington and Wichita coming up as our, top 10 teams. Right now, Arlington is currently at a 6-1 record with Wichita at a 6-2. So I'm sure Wichita is looking to have Arlington join them on the 2 loss there and add another to their own bank. But we'll have to see who's actually ready to bring the heat for this first match opening up here on Nepal. We're going to be in, this is the village, in the hut here. And oh man, May and Sim are always nasty if they get set up in that control point.
Yep, looks like it's going to be a race to that middle room in the center. Try to set up the sim, try to get that May walls going, rotating around, and it really just becomes a kind of a really tough trial to try and break back into that hold once it's set up by the opposing team, especially on a mirror composition. A lot of the times, a lot of teams would
Yes.
love to switch. Looks like it's actually gonna be a really fast race. That's one of the fastest in the game, I believe. Coming out, it's gonna help them get that point first.
And it's going to be a slugfest on the point. Already Maywalls and Sim turrets up the wazoo. Immo committed early here from Arlington, but does not save Tiki's mech, and Tiki does go down in the end. Wichita State is up by 1 player, but that's Symmetra here on Arlington. Julian is charged up after shooting against that Reinhardt shield. Still, no one quite capped the point yet, but as I say that, of course, Wichita goes ahead, takes it into their possession. Arlington still doing a lot of pressure and chip damage from this outside. Super Juice has already built the Ant Matrix, but 2 walls on either side. There's not very many people getting into the point yet. Another wall going up, but this time from Fluffy but Deadly on that Symmetra. And worse, it is absolute chaos here as Wichita continues to fill the kill feed.
Yep, kill feed going completely the way of Wichita there, just kind of bursting out with those key ultimates. Exactly kind of what you want to do. You're playing the attrition game on point. They never were at any point where it seems like they were decisively going to lose it. So very good resource management from the backline specifically. You can't waste Lamp too early. You can't waste Amp too early. Once that happens, it's the other team's opportunity to just go in and use their resources because you're down. So really nice discipline from the backline there of Wichita State. And now the recontest. It's so dangerous right now, especially with this TP set at one point. They can poke you down from high ground and then instantly TP back once you try to contest.
Oh man, and there it is back in the point contesting here as both of them are slugging it out in this blizzard. Lots of people frozen up, but the sound barrier coming through from Trasherland may have stopped just a bit of the damage. Another sound barrier, this time from Colby, reinforcing Arlington as they continue to put the pressure on, trying to take this point. They've lost a couple members, but they are not giving up. There's a lot of damage potential coming through from Julian, and Dez is here to try and create some of that space. Huge wall coming through from Dez, manages to take down the opposing Reinhardt, blocks off that Ant Matrix, and, well, is giving them that opportunity here to take the point and now set up their own barricade.
Yep, there it is. Now Ant Matrix is going to come through. Ooh, a nice right click there. Straight through from Julian twice in a row. That's now 2 gone. That percentage rising as these picks go further the way of Arlington's favor. And just really, again, a war of attrition. It's these comps. It's a brawl on the point, and eventually someone's not going to have the resources to keep those tanks alive, or a support's going to get the unlucky misfortune of finding an orb or an icicle to the face, neither of which a very pretty tale to say the least. So this is going to be a tough ordeal trying to retake again for Wichita. Can they win this war of attrition? So far it's been good for them, but that's when they're on the defense.
We'll have to see how this one plays out now. Arlington holding strong on this point, but Maywell used early here from player, not quite on the point. The immo has been used up by Super Juice as Tiki throws that bomb. No kills coming off the back end of it, but still damage coming through from Wichita, regardless of the walls. Another blizzard coming through from Dez this time, trying to save the point for his team. And a shatter drops him on the ground. It is a scrappy and deadly fight here on the point, and Fluffy but Deadly getting kills as Wichita State clearing out Arlington to take back possession.
Yep, there it is. They get that possession just in time. Now 80%, they're way ahead now. Last fight going in. Going to be a May Blizzard versus no May ult. They do have the beat, but if it's too late or it gets caught in the Blizzard itself, you're going to have to see Colby separate from the rest of the team here. If you don't, it's going to be extremely dangerous. We're going to look out for that Lucio. That beat's going to save the round for them.
Shattered in the Blizzard! Oh, did the Blizzard make it off? I don't think so. It looks like it was canceled. Diva Bomb thrown over the top, and it does manage to clip Colby in the end, but Arlington is not wanting to give up. They've lost a few members, and Wichita looking strong here on the point. Couple of May walls thrown up, trying to mitigate any of this incoming damage from the Symmetras. Wow, look at all those right clicks coming through, and well, after that, it is an uphill battle here for Arlington to try and retake this point. An Amp Matrix on top of them. Man, it is absolutely difficult here. You can see Wichita still swinging away worse as Arlington trickles on, desperately trying to keep this point alive.
This one might be over though. They have the Reinhardt set up on point, and when the Reinhardt's not afraid to start swinging, when he's just free to let it loose, not having to hide behind the shield anymore, you're gonna take a lot of damage. It's 80 per swing. I mean, any squishy is getting basically 2-tapped with any amount of friendly fire coming through. That's not a good position to ever want to be in, and Wichita win that out. Again, I'm expecting to see something very similar, unless Arlington decides. No, it looks like both these teams might decide to go towards ball. No, Arlington will be sticking on that rush, but this fair composition for Wichita is extremely good into Arlington. The only issue is it can get very hazardous if you play extremely slow, like the Pharaoh wants to do, and if you don't find enough picks with those Pharaoh rockets, if those Pharaoh rockets are not hitting that Baptiste, are not hitting that Symmetra, in a quick enough frequency, you'll just lose out because you just won't ever have the ability to full contest the point. It's really on the Pharaoh hitting their shots.
And that's so much pressure on the DPS too to ensure that they're actually bringing value, right? Pretty standard though for the DPS role, especially when they have other comps that are very pick oriented, and Fluffy but Deadly is just berating the damage in through this side. Obvious pocket coming through from Trasher Lane. Huge results as Colby is the first person to go down. That's one support down for Arlington, giving them a nice advantage. Amp Matrix already online again from Super Juice. Like, that is very fast burst.
Yeah, well, it's going to be basically Farah versus Baptiste. You're not even going to need it. Again, that's the part where the Farah does their job. They slowly whittle down their resources. Yes, they lose first cap, but that's what you're expecting. You don't want your ball ever rolling through that team. You're going to get booped. You're going to get May frozen. Now they're even going to swap over to the Sombra off of that May. Even harder counter to that ball. But a Sombra in a brawl kind of style doesn't do much for the Reinhardt when they're trying to engage here. Looking for an assassination, it's going to be tough. Definitely can get easy peel there from Damply is Hanbei, and the barrage as well.
Oh, wow, the barrage came through, did go down because of it, but, you know, Discord was there. Julian did get taken down now in that cast form, and that's one stun off the table that TW doesn't have to worry about.
Yep, Reinhardt's going to be pushing forward here. Looking for something, mines to clear the way. That's going to be a couple hammer strings away. Oh no! Some mines find their way behind the shield and does quite a bit of damage. He's now under pressure, has the shield, and his EMP's going to be massive.
Oh yeah, it was. 5 people caught by it. 1, 2 already going down. Wichita State knows to pull the trigger on the aggression as soon as that EMP is popped, and Fluffy but Deadly is having a heyday here in the sky.
Yeah, and it's going to be very hard for Arlington to really deal with them. A lot of people kind of...
No way.
Oh, don't kill them. Okay. That would be really rude. That would be extremely rude. Don't do that. Colby trying to just vibe out on the frog. They do have beat to try and survive a potential engage. You only really have bomb. What I kind of want to see here is the Balto go aggressive and slam in with the bomb. That's the only way you're going to get anything done this fight. Looks like they're realizing it, but the EMP could end it all.
There it is, like you said, EMP, but doesn't clip a ton of people, and doesn't matter. There's still 2 going down from Wichita as Arlington aggresses forward here to take control of the point back in their favor. Pharmacy left hanging out on the side, and while Julian's doing his best to take them down, got some support there from Tiki to clean it up.
Yeah, but now you're playing a composition that's very alt combo oriented. And now you don't have that beat available. So what's potentially going to happen, you can try to see player maybe look to farm off a D.Va, because what's going to happen is the D.Va can try and mark you if you play an extremity. The D.Va starts marking you, start spraying them down. They're kind of forced between, do I just run away and let someone else try to deal with the Sombra, or do I just keep trying to mark them? And that bomb's not going to find much, unfortunately. You kind of need all the ults you can, so throwing an ult like that is quite dangerous right now, especially when you have a combo ult threat incoming.
Oh, man. Fluffy but deadly fell a little low. Thankfully, Trasherlin's pockets still strong and steady going through his... Well, is this deja vu worse? It's just whittling down here as the Pharah does go ahead and pop the ult in a very risky open spot, taken down quickly after that, but Arlington still continuing to hold possession of the point, trying to squeeze out every last amount they can. Big slam coming through, Julian falling super low, finally taken down as Wichita State fill in the kill feed, and whoa, does get crushed there at the end, but thankfully he'll roll back very fast.
Wait. I don't know about the MP. He doesn't catch the Zen, so you're not one-shotting the Zen there. And the fight was basically already lost, so a bit of a misplay there from Dez. They're going to have to go fast here, though, to try and touch. The Sombra should be able to. The EMP coming out early, though, trying to stop them in their tracks.
Yeah, and with 3 people clipped by that, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to continue aggressing forward, especially with this ball just rolling them backwards and berating them left and right. The D.Va bomb was massive, and honestly, I think that is the nail in the coffin right there. A little bit of cleanup left as Wichita State clears them out. Is going to go ahead and take the first map here of Nepal.
Yep, there goes that first map. Gonna go the way of Wichita. And really just some solid play from them. They know the win conditions on either composition. The first one was definitely a brawl, like you say. Like,
yes,
they were just going back and forth on that point, trying to riddle out resources. One fight goes like barely a little bit differently. It could go all the way in the other one's favor, but even going to Sanctum, I think they're pretty confident. They obviously showed 2 different breadths of style, which is more than I can say than Arlington, who only did show off that rush.
Right, and you know, after seeing both of those teams on 2 very different style of maps, I gotta say I'm really looking forward to King's Row. It's gonna be a little bit more similar to the Village and up in your face brawl potential. The teams looked really strong when they were facing off in their mirror comps earlier in that first round of Nepal. There's a lot of good back and forth, and well, it's nice to see that everybody is continuing to fight that war of attrition that you mentioned and not give up until they knew, okay, we are clearly not going to have this point. There is no chance that they will lose, 2 people from their low attrition. And, I'm curious to see how, what is it? Arlington is going to maybe clean up some of those comms and how they're going to really break through the rush style that they played against earlier.
Yeah, and while it is going to be very similar in terms of the characters that are played, probably swapping out a Cassidy for that Symmetra, it's very different in terms of how you're going to play it on King's Row. A lot of the time, the Symmetra style is very grindy. Like we use attrition as a very good example because it's just slowly whittling away at the enemy's resources as they kind of have to choose between, do we go forward, try to take the Symmetra out, or do we just let her just charge up the beam and kill us all? And then it's kind of like, well, do we let our Symmetra just charge up, that kind of thing?
Right.
No, on this time it's going to be, I'm walling off your Rhine and we're killing the Rhine. If we can't kill the Rhine instantly, it's a little bit problematic, but definitely a more faster paced rush style than I think a lot of people just see the same characters and go, oh, it's the same thing, but very
It's
different
true.
mentality going into every single different map.
And this map can be played considerably faster as far as shooting the slot through the gaps to take those positional advantages over the other team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's certain points of the map that you just want to be holding. I mean, a lot of the time you see, and especially in ranked, what's going to happen is a defensive team will be like, okay, we're on defense, we got to back up into the corner when they start walking at us. No, you try to want to play around the statue area, and you want to walk into them when they start walking in a certain direction, because if they're using resources to walk somewhere, and you can attack them while those resources are being used not to fight you, that's perfect. When they get to use all their resources to walk into you, that's when you've kind of messed up as a defensive team. You want every advantage you can get.
I mean, that is some classic advice right there. I wish more people knew in my games.
Yeah, I wish in my games too. Even in top 500, they don't know.
It's rough out there some days in the comp and in the grind. I'm sure all of you guys know that too. And well, unfortunately, the first attempt here by Wichita, not quite as successful as they're looking for, but there is still plenty of time. And well, Hanbei here charging up that Amp Matrix pretty fast this time, actually faster than Super Juice for a change of pace. Usually he's got that up and ready in the first fight, and well, we'll have to see how this next engagement is going to unfold. Goes ahead and uses the Amp Matrix 4 from Hanbei, giving everyone the boost they can. Good wall coming through though from Dez to block the opponent's other wall, and oh man, a lot of back and forth here coming through on the point. Arlington still holding strong as Wichita's playing this corner, trying to get a bit of cover before they move around. High noon, fluffy but deadly. Not deadly enough as another high noon. Oh, absolutely wrong there. 2K and another one coming up. Fluffy but deadly. Great job. Beautiful hat trick.
They're looking to try and win this. Colby thinks they have some way to turn this around with your beat, and now you just lost beat advantage, or at least beat neutrality right there. Support ultimates, specifically from the Zen and the Lucio, the two strongest defensive ultimates in the game, have been like that since the release of the game. Basically, well, the Transcendence had to get buffed a little bit first, but since a little bit after the release of the game, those two were like kind of the key staples of it, and have become kind of a mind game in team fights between the two. Who can use those first, and who can win out by having the later support. Also, the Shadow's gonna come down. Don't even need the beat to win this one.
Nah, not what, after a shatter like that, when multiple people have fallen down. It is all cleanup kills here for Wichita, and it seems like Wichita has really picked up the momentum on this map.
Deadly was like a classic little 4 or 5K there on the Cassidy. I mean, definitely doing a really strong here on so far on that roll. And really right now what I want them to kind of see is they can go aggressive. They know they have the resource advantage in terms of ultimates. If they kind of just speed high noon around the corner, force them back a little bit, force them to maybe even use a wall or a lamp or something like that, that's going to be perfect because you can kind of grind out this fight just by having more ultimates. You have that Maybelline up already. Throwing in a bomb as well, trying to move it. I mean, exactly what I said.
Speedy high noon right around that wall, and well, look at that, a beautiful kill onto Dez as a result. Even though Amp Matrix here is popped by Arlington, they are in a corner. They have to keep giving space, and you can see they keep giving back a little bit more and more. Trasherlin's taken out by the Diva Bomb, but it's a little too late as more people are falling to Dampley's Diva Bomb, and well, that's gonna roll the card on through.
Yep, and exactly kind of what I said you should try and be doing on the offense actually comes true. They speed high noon, get their resources whittled down. What happens then? You now have the advantage. You push it instantly. That May's out of position, had to ice block out of the way. Push it, eliminate them. Now they're low resources. They feel pressured to have to shatter and try to get out. You throw a bomb behind. Perfect stuff from them, from Wichita right there. They really know kind of how this composition works and how this matchup works.
Opening with an Amp Matrix with a May wall to block it off. We've seen this dance before, and now player gets the freeze there onto Tiki. Doesn't find the D-Mech, but An icicle to Colby is going to take him out of the picture. Blizzard gets thrown way towards the back, and more kills coming through. Super Juice does manage to dodge it, but bullets aren't dodged in the end as he does go down. Wichita is just cruising on through with 3:58 left on the clock. Worse.
Yeah, they built this support ult here, this Lucio beat. First fight, not first fight, first point where Colby used it. Now Colby has another one. I mean, don't do that, Fluffy. I don't advise that. I was gonna talk about how you have a support ult advantage, but that's not gonna matter when your cast is dead instantly.
Oh, and that fire strike that was coming straight from his face. Like, that was a beautiful point of view to experience. Unfortunately, TW does go ahead and go down as Arlington manages to find their footing here on the defensive and hold strong just before the third point is capped.
Yep, and I'm gonna swap over to Zarya here. I feel like they need more frontal pressure. That's really the only thing the Zarya can give over D.Va. Much more defensive utility that D.Va does have. The only real difference is that a charged up Zarya does do a lot of damage to those tanks that are front facing. The problem is, if you can go faster than the Zarya can charge up and get their damage over it, that's what the D.Va kind of facilitates with a shot! With a track!
Man, everyone's on the ground taking a snooze. Julian does find a couple of kills, and well, it is Wichita State sent back to start.
Yeah, I mean, what a nice shadow there. I was gonna say you can kind of go fast with that D.Va. Not when you're on the ground, on your back. Enjoy a little vacation there. Going a little bit too slow you need, but now you gotta pick up the pace again. They have beat advantage. You're gonna try and force that out, potentially with a bomb if it pressures out some tanks, right? Or even with this May Blizzard. Blizzard plus bomb can be very effective because that Ryan is typically gonna go uncaught in it, especially if the wall hits, doesn't.
Over the top, does manage to find Tiki here, and there is the Blizzard thrown in response here from Dez. Dez goes ahead and dies, but there's two Blizzards thrown all around. Everyone's frozen up. There are the kills coming through, though, for Wichita. 2:10 left on the clock, and it is going to be a really difficult recontest if Arlington's going to be able to touch this point. Wild people off right there. High Noon is going to put a lot of people dead in their tracks, and, well, there it is. One more down, and gonna be 1:58 left on the clock.
Yep, and right there you're kind of seeing Wichita understands what their win conditions are going into every fight. Their ult tracking also seems very solid. It seems like they have a pretty good grasp of what people have at what times, because I'm not seeing them get caught off by anything, and I'm seeing them make the correct plays that I can say. It's very easy for me to go and say, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, because I have full information about everyone, all 12 players, right?
And we're not playing either and trying to also aim and stay alive.
Yeah, in-game way harder. I've kind of like grappled with this when I compete and everything. I'm like, man, when I cast I know exactly what to do. It's like, why is that? Well, I also know 20 times the information I know in game, but Wichita seems to be completely on top of everything in terms of the information game, which is very cool to see at this level. Because you're seeing, that means there's some very good minds back there doing the ult tracking, fight planning, all that kind of stuff. You love to see that.
Yeah, and those shatters that have been coming out have been pretty filthy, though. Not something I want to get caught by, and they have definitely been turning the tides for Wichita when they're used, and I mean, for Arlington when they're used, they were able to fend off Wichita a little bit, but you know, I do think they need to be more aware of some of the upcoming dangers from people like Fluffy but Deadly.
Yeah. A little, I mean, that beard is well trimmed for a dead man. I'm not to be honest with you. But again, opting for the Zarya, wanting to kind of run into them, but not as fast as the D.Va can. It's kind of awkward what the Zarya plays is doing, but not when your Ryan is dead.
Okay, yeah, Fire Strike opening up the kill feed here as TW goes ahead and continues just cleaving away. They've retaken this choke point here, and Arlington's gonna have to regroup and repress.
Yeah. So what you kind of want to do is play like a mid-fight where you're trying to get incremental value with the Zarya over and over again. The D.Va's going to run out of defense matrix. It's going to start getting beamed down. It's going to be like, man, I'm taking a lot of damage on my health. I need resources pumped into me that might not be going to my Reinhardt. I want to stack with my Reinhardt as much as possible for my D.Va so the Baptiste Splash is hitting us. But now, really nice bait there. Oh, that's really smart.
big walls, and well, moving around away out of sight of that Ant Matrix from Hanbei. Immo's coming through as well as High Noon popped by Julian. Everyone from Wichita is inside, skirting around the edge. There it is, the wall taking down or leaving everyone in there except for TW, now taken out of the picture as more from Wichita try to flood out of the small room into Arlington.
Yep, and right there, it was a really nice play there from Arlington. They understand what their play is they want to try and start to go aggressive with their Baptiste, with their metrics. As soon as we start committing a resource like, let's say, speed, right? So we're gonna try and fake speed right, and then instantly go left with it. Really smart play from them, and it allows Zarya to get full access to the backline, which is where Zarya is actually the most deadly. When she's getting neutralized by frontline tanks, it's a little bit harder, but if she's right-clicking your backline, it's just awful.
Oh man, and TW taken down again by the Maywall, sectioning him off. He's alone so often and does not have the help he needs. Huge shatter coming through though, grabbing a couple people, but the kills are not quite there. So many healing resources thrown into that fight just now to keep them alive through all of that. And the Ant Matrix pays off in the end, taking down Tiki. Both teams from Arlington are walking back currently, and a lot of CC coming through from Wichita. Blizzard from Arlington. That is going to be a huge wrench in the chain for Wichita as they're trying to defend here before Arlington can make this second checkpoint cap. But I don't know where it's looking good for Arlington, and Julian's High Noon seems like it's going to seal the deal.
A little bit of a Cassie fight on the right side, not going to get the touch off. I was going to say, maybe winnable if that D.Va survives because Trasher Lynn has the beat while it was forced out from Colby, and beat when you come back in with it is so aggressive. You can just run into the enemy team, do as much damage as possible, not worrying about that HP pool. But D.Va ends up getting DMAC'd and they can't end up executing that we're gonna run it down strategy. Instead, it's gonna be on this grab. It's the last remaining really main ultimate to use. Super Juice has something to supplement it, but the beat has to be well timed.
Giving space here during Fluffy but Deadly's High Noon, so a bit of learning from some of the previous nasty ults we've seen come through from him. Oh, very nice job coming through also from Wichita, blocking a bit of that damage, and well, you can see Arlington getting aggressive. How are they going to handle this Ant Matrix coming through? Both of them have used their Ant Matrixes trying to find the value they want. Soap is taken down, but there's still a couple exchanges. Pin coming through here as Colby's going to go ahead and skirt away, and well, Wichita State still holding defensively strong, but there's 4:20 left on the clock, so we'll see what Arlington does.
Yep, right there. It's still going to come down to this Graviton Surge. I mean, you can always do Grav Blizzard, but that's like committing 2 fight-winning ults to 1 fight. They are about a fight and a half away. It's going to be a stagger right after that, so maybe it's something worth considering. But if anything goes awry and you use both those ults and don't win the fight, it is an absolute disaster to your ult bank.
Some poke damage coming through as both teams now looking to engage. There it is. Arlington rushed around the corner straight into a blizzard after that. Sound barrier thrown by Wichita State to seal the deal and give them all the help they need to make sure that, well, Arlington has to go back.
I don't know why D.Va is such a good character. You can just eat an ult. It took 4 minutes to build that ult. Now it's just gone, devoured.
Yeah.
D.Va doesn't care how much hard work you put into anything. D.Va does not care. D.Va will eat it, take it away from you, just rub it in your face, and they just ate your entire life savings right there. And just ice on the cake, right? Oh my gosh!
Again! Wow! D.Va don't care. Doesn't matter. More ultimates eaten there as Wichita continuing to kill the kill feed. And, well, Arlington has to run back with their tail between their legs. And, oh, they can't even get into spawn. Players block them off from their own retreat. Man, that hurts my heart for you guys.
Well, you see, I say, what if you commit 2 ults and then lose the fight? What if you commit 2 ults in 2 different fights and both of them just do nothing?
Oh, no. 2 ults into
power.
DM.
Yeah, that's the power of D.Va right there. What are they going to do? You want to always be the one to go aggressive, exactly following that philosophy still to this day. Going to go past the Ant Matrix.
Oh, man, past the Ant Matrix and right into a Fire Strike. Fluffy but Deadly catches that in the face right there. Wichita backs off, giving room. As you can see, they want to utilize this Ant Matrix coming through from Hanbei here to try and prevent Arlington from gaining too much space right now. Fluffy but Deadly finally back in the fight, and with Julian down, that is a huge advantage. Earthshatter came through, getting 3, and well, TW does go down in the process. Blizzard has come through, so we'll see how much Arlington can capitalize on it, but now they're hit with a counter Blizzard from player. A couple of them backing off, giving that room, and doesn't look like Arlington got the payload progress they were looking for.
Yeah, they definitely should be losing their life, but a great wall to kind of peel for them. It's now going to be run away, run! That HP pull, no!
Oh!
I hate that feeling. You're like, guys, we're winning the fight. No, I'm dead. I'm gone.
Yeah. Well, after an Ant Matrix gets popped like that, did she just fall off the underneath?
Oh, they tried to
oh man,
you fly under and fly back up, but missed and hit the wall and died.
Oh man, missed it by that much. You see Arlington looking strong as a huge change of pace for them, stop them in their tracks, and they have 125 left on the clock, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I think both this is kind of like a decent time bank for Kings Row. It's been such a favorite map for so long that a lot of teams have just scrimmed it, especially if it's in a mirror composition or a very similar mirror composition like this. It's been practiced and scrimmed so much that it's kind of not expected to finish a map, because obviously teams are very good at defense as well, but it's a lot easier than other maps where they are less favorited and also like less practiced. Even if they've been in the game for the same amount of time, just who wants to play, like, let's say Volskaya? Man, that map is just unfun sometimes.
It's a favorite. It's been a favorite for a long time, and I mean, as someone who also plays Reinhardt a bit, I love the shield that perfectly fits in the alleyways. It fits like a glove, and it works so well. And, well, I love the slugfest that comes out from these brawl compositions, and at least I know Kings Row will always deliver on that front to a degree.
Yep, and we're gonna be seeing a very similar defense for Wichita State. Let's see if they do. Let's see if they do get kind of caught up in the same kind of ruse where they fake the speed around. It's gonna be interesting to see how that ends up happening. Like every time I see someone walking to the wall like that, I'm like, are they DCing? But like, no, they have the shield up. It's fine. They're not DCing.
This is intentional.
It's intentional.
All right. Arlington moving around the statue here. Maywell has come through for both sides. A lot of immos coming up, trying to keep these tanks alive, and those Baps are jumping, trying to spray down as much healing as they can, regardless of all of the obstacles in their faces. Man, Arlington filling the kill feed here, though, as well, with very little time on the clock. They've already taken this first point. They've got the first tick down, and the space that they're taking is going to make it almost impossible for Wichita to contest. Can they even touch? No.
No touch.
No one's fast enough.
They can hold Arch, and Arch, very strong power position. I don't know if they're gonna clear Julian here. Someone look to the right, it'd be very funny. It'd be extremely funny, and I think that's all we can ask for. Player doesn't check it, flashbangs can come through, only find the Reaper, not gonna kill it.
Yeah, and Fluffy but Deadly punishes Julian for that aggression right there on the side. This Reaper's gonna be taken down early. Thought he was gonna be even tougher for them, but Arlington just showing a dominating force here with that shatter, taking down many people, and the follow-up kills all there.
Yeah, and right there, it's kind of that Reaper has to kind of regroup on the front line, just help his tanks push forward. You flank there, you're just putting yourself in a bad position. So Fluffy really needs to be on the ball and not trying to commit too hard to flanks, especially in to something like a Mei or even a Zarya, who can start beaming you down instantly if they see you out of position. Now to retake, you're walking into a Mei Blizzard. This is where it's rough. Damply can pull some magic here, but really it's about, we get the Mei Blizzard out, we kite back, and then use our ult to recontest.
High Noon is going to stall out a bit of time, and it finds 2 kills through the opposing Matrix. You can see Fluffy but Deadly here getting, just hard focused as that Reaper. He is a big threat with all the lifesteal potential, and Blizzard coming through from Dez is going to give Arlington so much space to take this second checkpoint, and we're in OT. They had 128 originally, and they're still pushing the cart. Worse.
Well, I'm having PTSD, man. Oh, man. This is like ranked games where we're on Kings Row, we cap with 4 minutes, and the enemy team has 2 minutes, and then bam, they 6-cap it because we just get snowballed and we just don't know how to regroup and fight properly. It's very sad. It's very, very, very sad. Had this happen twice already in the last 2 days, so we're gonna hope to live through it here. Go aggressive with the blizzard. That's all we have to do.
Blizzard's thrown, there it is, and the Shatter is thrown on top of it, trying to find even more damage and get those stuns on the table for them. That's a grab eaten by Damply! Tiki's ultimate farm gone right there. Another huge play coming through from Wichita. Sound barrier coming out as well from Trasher Lynn. Everyone's gonna be reinforced, trying to push Tiki off, and there it is, Wichita finally dislodging Arlington on this 3rd round push.
Has Tiki gotten a grab off this game?
Technically,
has Tiki gotten a grab off that actually hit the floor and didn't get eaten?
Yeah.
I don't think they did. I think
the
every time
you
they've
should
been
be
building
asking.
it for like, I feel like they've been building it all for like 6 fights, and then they're like, guys, I'm gonna grab, and then it's just eaten. Which kind of warrants the question. It's like, is this the right action? Obviously, it was working for them, but I think that was a lot due to just how tempo-oriented they were going and how just aggressive they were being, which was very nice to see. But Tiki has to kind of learn that mind game between the D.Va and the Zarya, which a high-level Zarya or even a high-level Mei will make it hell for you to try to eat it, because you will do everything in your power and they'll still be like, I'm just waiting, bro. I'm just waiting.
Yeah. You know, I've learned that lesson the hard way myself, and sometimes I'm still learning the lesson the hard way. But, you know, I want to give props to Damply, that when you eat a Zarya ult, you have to already be DMing before the ult is thrown. You can't grab it after she's already initiated. You have to actually be anticipating and be ready. And so that really goes to show you some of the anticipation Damply's bringing to the table to, I mean, take those big plays off the table.
Yep. And right there, we're going to be seeing if Arlington can pull out a defense here to try and even this series up 1-1. It's going to be hard. They're going to have to try and hold this corner. But oh, that's good. That's really good.
A lot of people squished off. There's the MO coming through, and TW is the one to go down first. Arlington holding strong here as they've got a couple kills, and Wichita backing off quickly to regroup. That's good. Yep. They don't have much time.
Don't have much time indeed, and right there, a lot of ultimate charge built up for Dez there. Did a lot of work that fight. Wichita is going to have to win a fight without any ults here. Maybe maximum is going to be the Ant Matrix right now. We're going to walk in on the side and try to get a pick on the back line, but not going to find it. Just the wall expended.
Ant Matrix here ready online. Hanbei looking to use it as well. There it is. Pulls the trigger quickly as Wichita does push onto the point, trying to find that value. Arlington goes ahead and walks out of line of sight of the Ant Matrix, but there's one tick coming through. It's okay. They're playing the patient game, using their own Ant Matrix now, and Julian goes ahead and pulls a kill off the end of it. So far, more kills coming through from Julian, and, well, Soap is there to join the party. Wichita trying to stay on this point. They managed to get 2 ticks, and with 35 seconds left, they need to do a soft regroup and push again.
Yeah, and right there, it feels like that's one of the shadows where it's like, man, we shouldn't be losing this fight. Why are we losing this fight? It was really just as a push and pull to these kind of fights. You commit resources forward, they commit resources to walk back. If they commit less resources than you did commit forward, they can then recommit their resources forward, try and retake it. And right there, they just had that Ant Matrix in the pocket. They had the high noon. They had everything they needed to retake that point. Now, 7 seconds, you can't do that against Damply.
Damply, you're nasty. Another Blizzard eaten, and another one on the stats for him there. There it is. Account. Oh my gosh, nobody touched.
Oh. No, it's not Damply's fault, but no.
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 Okay, all right. Now we're 1-1, so we got a series, and we're getting
like
Arlington's here to play.
Not like this. Man, that's a rough one right there. Again, just like my rankings, you have the high time bank, doesn't matter. You got snowballed in overtime, and then you suddenly just forgot how to play the video game. You get tilted out of this world when that happens. They're definitely gonna be tilted going into Hanamura next, but again, I expect it to be more rush. Both these teams look very strong on it, but let's just say it, Wichita did not look better. They won with the Sim Rush, which is most likely what you see on Hanamura, and they also showed some fire, which definitely can come into play on Hanamura as well.
Yeah, and you know, they They have done some good work, and I think that the openness of Hanamura could really play into their favor. Obviously, Kings Row wasn't as successful for them, but wow, Damply literally ate so many ultimates from Arlington.
Yeah.
What, at least two blizzards and like two or three grabs?
Two grabs, two blizzards, I believe. I think they only grabbed
Jeez.
twice, which was the thing. So it was
Oh,
like
right.
they ate both grabs, and it's just like,
Ah,
hmm.
ouch. And I mean, of course, the end of the end blizzard there didn't
Yeah.
quite turn the fight for them, but
Touch the point
I
next
mean,
time.
absolutely insane coming through. And, it does make me really excited to see what they're going to do for the next map. I hope Wichita can keep their mental space, more positive as they did just, lose the last map and they're going into Hanamura. You talked about some of those strengths that we could see coming through from the Sim and Farah, and I think we could have another good, close game on our hands.
Yeah, definitely could have another a close map coming through. So far, been very close. First point was like not extremely close, but both rounds were competitive. Um,
Right.
and then that last King's Row, obviously, very competitive, very close. Got lots of good plays coming out from both sides. They both seem to understand that matchup. I think Wichita actually understands it a little bit better, but only in a Diva mirror. I feel like in the Zarya mirror, they play a little differently, and it's just so weird to see because you can act like, oh, they don't play differently. They play like it's in a Diva mirror, and they're not respecting the fact that Zarya, while technically can be considered a weaker character than Diva, you still have to respect what that Zarya can do, which is allow that line to walk forward more aggressively into you, and then do a lot of damage onto your front line. You have to be the ones going fast, and you have to be the ones going first. But they just weren't doing that quite as much as they used to.
Yeah, and that damage that Zarya can output sure can sneak up on you. If you've been like, oh, she's like 10 charge, no big deal. And then, of course, she gets, you know,
20
damage pumped
billion
into her
charge,
bubble.
and
And then, yeah,
yeah.
then you really melt fast. Uh, I'm sure those supports get that adrenaline heart race coming through every time. And, well, curious to see how it's going to play out next. We are going to go to Hanamura, but we'll go to a quick break right before, folks, and we'll see you on the other side. folks, and welcome back to week 9 of EGFC. We are in the midst of a series here between UT Arlington versus Wichita State University, and worse, it's 1-1 and they've come to play.
Yeah, definitely have come to play both. Another fair, definitely possible, but we'll see what they end up going for.
Well, so far, it's actually Arlington showing that Farah here, but, um, oh, okay, I see here. We got some side swaps. So yes, you nailed it. It's gonna be Wichita there on the Farah, of course. And, well, Fluffy but Deadly with Trasher Lynn's pocket. Probably gonna be what we see the whole time.
Might swap it up on second point. Farah loses a lot of their ability.
Oh,
Yeah, and kind of like Farah kind of loses their ability. Do you think you can see a swap off to like an Echo maybe if they want to keep a flyer? But generally it's going to be another spam character like a Hanzo that can come out, or a Tracer. I don't know if that's in Fluffy's wheelhouse though. Definitely seems like a well-rounded play. What is that TP?
Oh, yeah,
I've never what? What? What is that? You're gonna die for it, but what is that?
wow, yeah, that was an interesting strat coming through straight over the top. Fluffy but Deadly wasn't ready to get stunned out of the air either, but Wichita holds strong regardless.
What was? No, I've never seen the team go, guys, we gotta take this fair out with our TP. That that's just bonkers. I mean, you're gonna die for that. You're using resources to go about 2 feet in terms of horizontal distance, and then you don't have any resources to keep going. I want to see a more standard TP coming out. Even Fluffy's like, what? I'm just freaked out. I gotta stay away from that one.
Yeah, Fluffy's avoiding that side a bit, but the damage boost coming through is too much for Arlington. Dez goes down early, and, well, that's a lot of damage off the table for Arlington's push. Tiki's been demeched on top of it, and worse, this is going to be a difficult aggression in.
Yep, right now it's going to be the Pharaoh on the flank. That boop might find the Lucio. Yes, it does. But don't get 3-tap, Fluffy. No, messes the movement just a little bit.
Man, Jillian does go ahead and come back there on the kill, but it's still Wichita set up strong on the point. Trasherlin takes a fire strike with an Amp Matrix combo to the face right there, already out of the picture. Charged off the edge from Soap here. A little crazy coming out, but looks like it's going to be fine as Arlington holding strong and capping the first point.
Try to commit the Bongo in a 1v6. I don't know, 1v5, I guess, because Soap went off the map, but I don't know if that was completely warranted, and if they're not going to swap it, that just seems like a straight up mistake. But they do have other ults to come in. What you want to do is you want to catch them on the rotation. With Sim, it's a lot harder. That's why you play the Sim on this map, because you can't get caught on the rotation as easy by the fair. In that case, it's TP spam time. There's the first shot, almost kills it out, and it's now really bad.
Man, and they've been split up really badly. UT Arlington, some in the main point and some actually on the point itself. 2 lifted up by the Flux, but the Flux is canceled due to the Deadeye from Julian taking him out of the picture. A nasty anti coming through from Hanbei here on the high ground. He is absolutely uncontested and, well, just pretty much shooting the breeze here and keeping everyone healed.
Yep, and right there, it's going to be Hanbei just trying to take this off angle, look for nades. That's going to be on Tiki to try and eat that. Not always the easiest thing, 1, to then find the Ana, and then 2, react to the nade. Very quick projectile. Yeah. But it's their job nonetheless. The life of a Diva player is you have to be responsible for every off angle in the entire existence, and every cooldown you have to eat or else you're throwing. As my ranked teammates would say.
Yes, and your DM is infinite, right? That's
yes, my DM is. Where's my DM? I don't know. Maybe I used it on you 2 seconds earlier.
Yes, blocking all of the other bullets that you did not run behind cover for. Speaking of cover, though, player definitely taking some after seeing that Amp Matrix pop. 2 people go down from Wichita State. Bob is absolutely needed on the point to help and try and mitigate any of that damage. He gets charged off to the side, but it is Slaughterville coming through from Arlington as they continue to manage Wichita State trickling onto the point. There's a couple people left here, quick ones trying to get through, but it's a high noon time, and well, unfortunately, Trasherland takes that to the face. Diva Bomb charged away.
I think I just saw Julian kill like 4 people with 3 bullets. It felt like I'm pretty sure it was 4 bullets, but man, just quick rapid fire back-to-back kills. I'm not sure how the Sigma was dying so early there. They weren't TPing anywhere. I think the Sigma was expecting them. Oh, I know what it was. They tried to bait TP right there. So they bait TP, and then the Sigma tries to jump on top of it to break it faster, or to like catch the people that are going to stand behind. So the Sigma jumps into the waiting arms of 6 welcoming Arlingtons, like welcome. We are a school's welcoming committee, and we join our side. And then he dies. He just gets instantly just murdered by 6 people. And not you gotta kind of respect it a little bit more. Obviously something that hadn't done before, so it was a little unexpected, but you know, kind of just giving over that advantage so quickly, just losing members instantly on a team that didn't even take TP is not desirable.
Yeah, and that TP was shredded so quickly too, though. Wichita was ready for the TP and looking to try and shut that down as quickly as they could, and I mean, you saw that. It took two shots very fast, and as soon as they had dropped TP, it was down within, I don't know, maybe 1 second? It's not very long for your team to run through, and if you're not all ready when Sim says, okay, TP, go! It's over.
And there's always like a debate of like, do we commit resources to keeping the TP alive, because then we don't have it when we come out the TP, but sometimes you have to. That turret's unfortunate. That jump is hard because you're just like the shortest character in the game. I don't know if you're actually shorter than Tracer or not, but you feel like it, at least.
I mean, you missed it by that much, and I miss it all the time by that much. Wichita's already moved on to the point as Arlington here trying to defend on the side. Tiki getting lasered, and you can't block anything from Fluffy but Dudley on that Symmetra. Still a nice accretion coming through, finding that stun. It is a brawl right here, and with the wall coming through, they've sealed the deal. Arlington going down one after another as Wichita quickly capped that first point. 6:15 left on the clock. Worse. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and right there, it's going to be them trying to go across again. 6 minutes on the clock. They have the Symmetra wall. That's going to stop the Twizzler from getting a lot of that damage down, and Fluffy is just doing some work.
Man, charged up Sim right here. You can see this laser going burr. Just one after another kills either from Fluffy themselves or from their turrets. Finally taken down though. Dez goes ahead, puts them in their place. Damply solo on the point, demeched, and that's going to be a regroup for Wichita.
They were going for it, but not going to end up posting that one on speedrun.com. Instead, going to be a filled run. Going to go have to do it another time. But we're going to see what Dez is able to do with his ultimate. I mean, that just completely shuts down anything Wichita State is wanting to do. You're also seeing Arlington swap over to the Brigida, not onto a Lucio. They're not trying to speed the Rhine away. I guess they're trying to use him as like a sacrificial lamb, as you will. Just be like, you're going to die, but we are going to do a lot of damage behind you. And we're going to have a lot of healing for our squishies.
Push coming through from Wichita here. They've taken a bit of the high ground and now decided to just walk up the main point. Jukes for them as the high noon is popped by Julian on the high ground. Finds player, and well, the Diva Bomb sent over the top, forcing him to walk down the stairs. Couple kills coming through here for Arlington, and well, it is a scrappy fight on the point. The respawns are coming through though, and just a bit too much for Wichita to handle.
Yeah, and now you only have your Brigida ult available. You can maybe not play slow, but you can probably build up the Super Juice ult, the M Matrix, right after the engage comes in. But what's really going to be important is how fast does Wichita take this, and do they get in and get enough value before that rally kind of overwhelms them. One of the strongest ults, if not the strongest ult in the game, and it can be very dangerous if you get that popped during a fight as you're engaging and don't manage to kill anyone, because then they just, okay, this is a little bit early for my liking, but still gonna have the same effect.
There's the engage straight on the point itself. You can see the sim wall and the ant matrices here getting topped one after another. Sound barrier from Trasherland reinforces Wichita for this push, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Arlington still getting the kills and putting out the damage. Fluffy but deadly, very low. Super Juice trying to find those kills, and Well, they did manage to get one tick this time, but they've got 3:44 left on the clock.
I wonder if they swap off the sim now. Looks like they're very committed to it. Sim loses. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Never mind. Not committed to it at all. In fact, just gonna hear me and just. You're an idiot, caster. Okay, my bad. My
Too
bad.
quick. Too
My
quick.
bad. So you're gonna see here, because they have the May advantage, they want to try and run over the Reinhardt as fast as possible. Dez is gonna just try and match it, actually, because they realize they have to stop the Reinhardt from getting run over. But are they gonna be fast enough or quick enough to get there? That's the question.
Ah, hurry, run up the wall.
No,
Oh, okay. That was an interesting wall. There it is. Nice coming through here. Able to section off the team. Take them in bite-sized chunks. It's going to be the Diva Bomb taking down the Immo, and Damply took an icicle to the face, trying to find that damage from the Bunny Blaster. Arlington doing a great job at holding defensively really well, regardless of the massive time bank that they were up against earlier.
Yeah, and now we kind of have to look at ourselves and go, how do we win this next fight? Well, it's gonna be May Blizzard more than likely. They're gonna have potentially a rally to counter it. If they get that rally going, I think they used it way too early last time. The rally armor didn't really come into play that effectively. I think you want to be popping it as soon as the engage is coming in, not right before the engage comes in, because the rally has time to tick. Someone probably DC'd right there. I doubt it was a call for a pause. Unless it was, someone might be having 10 billion ping. That happens. I've had teammates that have that. Shout out to Comcast for that one.
Oh man, yeah. I'm sure we've all had our fair share of internet problems, and we've also seen it on, what is it, in Overwatch League, where all three players have put their batteries in their mice at the same time, and then they all three die at the same time. So seen a couple of crazy things like that happen, but I'm sure we'll get back into it.
Shout out to Dredro's internet provider that one time. That was pretty funny. That was a good one.
Yeah, but we'll have to see, what Wichita's gonna do moving into this, and how they're gonna take this next point.
Yeah, and it feels weird because they're doing things technically correct. It's just the other team is also matching it responsibly, and then it's just kind of like, well, what are we doing wrong? Well, we're not technically doing anything wrong. We just have to do something new every single time, because if we do the same thing over and over again, what's going to happen is they're going to be more comfortable at dealing with it every single time, going to know what patterns, all that kind of stuff. Now, this is good rally timing. That's the engage that's coming in. You have to drop though with that rally. Exactly what they do.
Well, Reinhardt is going down first as TW taken out of the picture. Julian finding another kill after his high noon one, and still trying to give out more damage in response. Still Arlington holding strong here on this point, and well, Wichita gonna be walking back and going for another regroup.
Yeah, and they can still finish this with time. Definitely doable. They're walking into just an Ant Matrix and a Shatter. They're gonna have a May Blizzard built up mid-fight, but you have to watch out for if you are Tiki. Oh, not Tiki. If you are Damply. And Damply's been really good at that, so I know no doubt about that. But it's really gonna come down to, does Tiki eat players May ult, or does the May ult not find value? Do you kind of use either the Diva to bait it out or a Reinhardt to bait it out? I don't think they know this rotation is coming. No, they exactly know. They hear it.
Yeah. This is the same thing they ran last time as well. It seems like they do favor running up some form of the center-ish area. Moving around the back, though, trying to see what Arlington wants to do. Is Arlington going to engage them on the point? Well, no. They're going to take the long-distance route, shooting far away through that Ant Matrix. And, man, it's going to be tough to dislodge Super Juice and Julian from up there. It's still just free fire coming through, and, well, they get cleaned up pretty quick.
Not believe they were finishing the time this round, so I think best they can hope for is a draw at this point, especially with the stagger coming in. Damply's now very, very sad.
Oh.
I was gonna say if that was Damply leaving and rejoining, that'd be really funny. But not gonna be that. Not gonna be that at all. Technically not allowed either. I believe it was bannable by Blizzard, so I don't think that's allowed in officials. Despite my teammate once yelling at me to do it. It's not, you can't do it. You can't do that. Also, don't do that.
Yeah.
Practice those, man.
Practice throws, indeed. I'm sure that's what a lot of people call it in my games. We had another pause. Hopefully everyone's internet's doing all right. There's been a couple of snowstorms knocking out power lines that I've heard about, but all is well so far.
Damply suffering.
Oh, poor Damply, still.
You're dead.
Oh.
You won't be back for the fight in time.
No.
Have fun. Have fun telling your team, guys, I'm getting staggered. They're like, can you do it? They're like, hey, can you run away? No, I can't run away. What am I supposed to do? It's like, they're like, can you do this? Like, no, I can't do anything. I'm getting beat up. They're gonna have to go fast.
Players really get the short end of the stick between everyone demanding, oh, DM me and eat those people's ultimates, and then also getting staggered. Ooh, it's a rough deal to go into. Blizzard already getting thrown here. Dez goes ahead and is taken down after the Blizzard is thrown. Self-destruct over the top. Does find Fluffy, but Deadly. This is the last chance Wichita has to take this point and tie up this map here. Shatter comes through, finding a couple. 2 more kills come through. This is the glimmer of hope Wichita needed to try and take this point back. Damply still has self-destruct on board, goes ahead, throws it onto the other side. Dez out of the picture, and well, not even 2 ticks yet capped by Wichita. They are going to have to handle Arlington's trickle in onto the point worse, and well, still not even 2 ticks yet. What player takes down 1 but is taken down himself? Can they continue to handle this stream of Arlington players coming through worse?
Maybe, just maybe. Overtime spawns are now in effect, so respawns are coming back very slowly. They're gonna play for a draw here. That was looking dangerous. What you really saw was Wichita just hold on to ults. They were so good on King's Road about going fast with stuff multiple times. But then they're on Hanamura. It kind of felt like they were like, yeah, we'll TP in or we'll rotate in, and then we want to like wait for something. No, you have to be going aggressive. When they're dropping, I want the May Blizzard on that floor below them. I don't want to be waiting until they're May Blizzarding us to May Blizzard, and then I get frozen so it cancels my ult and I don't get it off. I mean, they win the fight overall, but it's just those kind of misplays, or just not understanding the tempo they need to be going for quite as well as they should have. And they seemed very they seemed like they had that kind of knowledge and information skills like down beforehand. So it's very odd to see that.
Yeah, you know, now that you pointed out, I do agree with you on that front, and it was a very different approach onto the second checkpoint than what we saw coming through on King's Row. So, you know, I wonder if something mentally changed for them, or if maybe this is something they do specifically for Hanamura. But yeah, a little bit more proactiveness would be nice to see with those ultimates and engaging. You mentioned it on the rally too, that they were just a split second early or a split second late. So really dialing it in to just that sweet Goldilocks spot.
Yeah, and really, I don't know about the Bastion sim, but we'll see. Definitely something that can work if you get enough damage out on the fair, but and this TP, I don't know if this is the TP at all, especially when you have somebody.
Oh, that anti!
Oh
my gosh. 5 out of 6 people unhealable right there. Immo is only going to extend the fight for so long. A couple of people have gone down, and some big ones. A res is successful back onto player as another support goes down from Arlington. Julian trying to do his best, and he's set up in turret form. It is going to be tough for Wichita to move forward. He is taken down though. There are no supports on the point right now. That anti's even nastier. Everyone's falling low as the tanks are getting willed away, and well, they can't quite find the 1 tick that they're looking for yet.
Yeah, so basically what happened there, it looked way closer than it needed to be because because Wichita, Fluffy actually kind of just messed up. Didn't really put enough damage despite that really massive anti-nade. That should have been a 4K right there.
Yeah.
A little bit of shakiness right there. And that has to get cleaned up if you want to hold this. Like, this is 2 more minutes of this stuff. Like, this is not like, oh, we won the first fight, they have to stagger into us. This is just they're gonna send it on you.
Yeah, with that Ant Matrix opening up as well, Fluffy was going to skirt that damage, trying to avoid that LOS. He's been juiced up though from the nano boost, and well, we all know those rockets are online. He's looking to hit them straight in the face with, well, get this 1 kill. There it is. Going for the Lucio, poor Colby, the only victim of that barrage. More damage coming through, and well, this defense is starting to look more and more hopeful, worse.
Yeah, it's looking to be hopeful, but this Symmetra wall is going to be the test, because what's going to happen is they're going to Symmetra wall and everyone's going to get panic, because it always happens when someone Symmetra walls. The team just goes like, they just start yelling stuff. They start yelling. What you need to do is, I expect they're gonna TP wall, I need you to flux on the TP when it comes out. I need you guys to just try to focus on it. The Bob early, very interesting, but also works against massive anti.
Those antis have been deadly coming through. Arlington here moving on to the point, trying to find that damage. Does Gus get taken down in the end? And well, Wichita holding strong defensively once again, and now they have pushed it here to 40 seconds left.
Yeah, now we need to kind of see something from Arlington. They just used their "oh crap, let's make them panic" button. Don't get picked here, Fluffy. If you get picked and then your corpse gets run over, you won't get the res off and you'll lose the fight. So don't do that. But you have Flux for the rotation here. They're gonna just TP nowhere. No. They won't TP actually. That's a mistake. You didn't select Symmetra to TP. You selected Symmetra to sit there.
Oh man, I wasn't ready for it to get deleted that fast as soon as you were saying it. Of course, that's when it happens. Flux opening up early here from Damply. That's going to be a lot of good opening damage. Another nade, making it tough for Arlington as the Immo is taken down. Only extends their life for just a short time. There's the sound barrier though coming through from Colby. He's trying to keep the dream alive here for Arlington. They know they only need one tick, and oh man, there it is. The kills coming through. The shred from Julian and his right click moving along. More and more coming through as Arlington team kills and takes this back.
Last fight Lawrence's strike again. Always happens. Always happens in ranked. You're holding for what seems like forever, and then bam, everything goes to crap for no reason. You had every advantage there. They actually were slow on their beat. They were actually slow on their beat generation, so that flux could have been more massive. But you saw as soon as they came out of the thing, they actually just like didn't click it fast enough when it was on the TP, and they started moving. Tried to flick to where they were moving, got caught in geometry, and then had to redo it again. So got really panicky with that, and it's a little unfortunate, but also a little bit like you have to be faster. You have to be like pre-placing that flux basically as soon as the TP is coming out. Doesn't do it. They lose the fight. It's not entirely like I'm not saying the map is on them. That's not true. Like people go like, oh, the last fight this person messed up. The map's on them. No, they did a lot of good stuff other places, but could have won the map.
Well, and here I've said this before on other broadcasts, and this also comes back to when I used to do my own sports, and you would lose maybe the game by 1 point, okay? And when you lose by such a small margin, sure, maybe you specifically had that chance to tie the game up or stop that shot, but everyone else had tons of other small opportunities to also change the tide of the game. And so, yes, at the end, it feels like they're the most clutch potential opportunities because, yes, that is the clutch moment. But at the end of the day, it isn't ever really one person's one mistake that has cost them the game altogether. It is going to be accumulation of either all of your mistakes as a team or all of the small victories you have that give you the whole win. And look, there's always people out there like Striker, right? Who's gonna say, "Oh, we need me to carry? Okay, I'll kill 5 out of 6 people." But realistically, that's not what's going to happen most of the time.
Yeah. We're looking at you, Barry from high school, who didn't hit that free throw. Hit the free throw. It's easy. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I've had the opportunity as well. Like even recently, where I was like, man, I played the worst 30 seconds of Overwatch. This in the overtime situation that I played in the last 6 years, and I was like, man, that just sucks. And I'm like, but we could have won other ways. Like there's other ways we could have won. Like I played well 90% of the game, and then I messed up maybe about 10% of it. And I was like, but yeah, it is what it is. You got to move on. You got to reset the mental. Definitely still winnable. We're going to Dorado, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, should be Dorado.
In their favor currently, and well, it was not an easy battle for them to win either time. Obviously, going into the additional round 3 and round 4 of some of the maps shows that they're here to play, and both teams are pretty evenly matched. We talked about how they're very similarly ranked in the current standings with Arlington at 5 and Wichita at 8. But, you know, that one loss difference isn't really hugely visible to me. These guys seem like they're really having a good amount of back and forth and trying to exploit each other's weaknesses.
Yeah, and I think at least for us, well, like we kind of sit here and we go, "Oh, it's a very competitive game. Like that's really good. That's something to be proud of." For Wichita, I remember, I think I read that they were like, "We want to become first in each, like in the whole thing, and also
Oh,
in our conference." And that's not true currently. And to be playing even with like some teams, you probably be like, "Man, we should be winning. We want to win harder." That kind of stuff. I believe they're
totally.
fourth in their conference. I think their conference is probably like the best conference of the, well, like in terms of standings right now, has the highest
Yeah.
three, but
Mm-hmm.
the highest teams. But I mean, it's might be East. I don't know. It's one of them. There's a couple, but like not having that, if you're coming in with those expectations, can be a bit rough. That's why I always expect disappointment, and then you'll never be disappointed. Always works. Always works. Doesn't work. You lie to yourself every time. You're like, I'm not expecting anything of this. You expect everything. You do.
Yes. Don't denial's not a great remedy, guys.
Overwatch 2 is gonna come out, guys. I'm huffing
Right, right,
copium.
right.
I've been doing that for 2 years. Don't worry.
Well, we're still here playing Overwatch. OG, I guess is what I would
It's so
call it.
fun. I like it. I would
I
not put so much time into it if I didn't like it, but
pretty much, yeah. I'm in the same boat as you. I like to play the game. I play pretty regularly. Do I play as well as any of these people? No, no, not at all. We talked about this earlier too, actually. It's so much easier to analyze the game and talk about what we can see and how things can be better. Like this pinata face, loving him, giving
yeah.
you the dreamy eyes. But
There's no candy in there. I think someone's getting scammed if they buy that. Or someone already bought it, I think. It's pretty scam. I don't know. They should maybe refund that one.
Props out here to our producer and camera person, Aeon, giving all these beautiful shots and actually caught some really fantastic barrages earlier when I was watching the stream. So shout out there to you, my friend. And, well, player is super sneaky, squatting behind the roof out of sight, waiting for Arlington to come around the corner. Probably going to put that pressure on the back as you see the engagement there on the high ground. A little bit of tickle damage from Soap as he drops back down to regroup from his team. And Wichita here still holding the high ground at quite a range. Wow, TW was very low. It's always scared when you're low and anti, but manages to come out with his life. Another engage coming through. Julian already antied, and a nice bubble right before he hit the ground too, coming in from Tiki to give Soap that little bit extra oomph when he goes for it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see why they're running the Reaper with this double bubble strategy. The Han's a little more excusable. Typically you want to run something like a Tracer Echo if we're talking about like, oh, we're just going to optimize the crap out of this. But the Reaper's kind of interesting because if you're playing like a frontline character, it's a little bit difficult to get value out of it as that Hanzo. I don't know how they got behind them and then in front of them. That was a little weird. That was a little bit of a magic trick right there.
Yeah, especially when we're in that first-person sight there. Soap goes ahead, engages with his nano on top of it, continuing to aggress forward. Hanbei goes down in the back of it, and well, that is one support off the table for Wichita. Arlington can get aggressive even though they lost Julian, and well, I love the space that Soap has already taken, pressuring on the DPS.
Yeah, now this is kind of where the Reaper's going to thrive. Not when you leave your team. I'm not a big fan of the Reaper trying to go duel the Tracer. The Tracer's just going to waste your time completely with the blink dashes and the recall. We don't touch again. Wichita, we got to touch. That's just the fact of Overwatch that we've learned in the past 6 years. Objective needs to get touched. And that wasn't it.
And Dez on this Reaper here, so I mean, this is the epitome of why I despise playing against Reaper. He literally teleported, popped Fluffy but Deadly while he's visoring 2, maybe 3 times. He hit him twice for sure and then just chipped him on the shoulder once, and he was melted so fast in the middle of an ultimate. And that is the lifesteal on top of it, just seems a little nastier, and the pressure coming through that he's able to withstand from Wichita has just been immense. Oh, gets
That's
lower though.
typically it's actually a winning matchup for the Tracer if they just duel them on the outside. Dez, I don't know about. Like, this is the thing about Reaper. Yes, I could teleport straight into you, and then I'm just gonna get absolutely demolished when I do it. And now we're gonna see how this Nano coming out. It's actually instantly has to pop Primal as well. That's not a great use of things.
Yeah, not your ideal combo with the Nano all the time, but Colby has gone down. Oh man, there's the Dragons tearing through the point, does find Fluffy but deadly in the process as well. Arlington here trying to continue pushing this cart forward and self-destruct on the high ground. Super Juice caught? Oh, I didn't see where he was in the thick of it, but not quite hidden enough. And well, that is going to be so much pressure coming through from Wichita, forcing Arlington finally to regroup.
Now, how do you get a Reaper ult here? Like, what are you valuing on the Reaper ult? Dez has mostly been using this Reaper to try and dual Tracer or to just push high ground. But when you TP so linearly like that, so obviously, you're just gonna get bashed off, booped off, that kind of thing, or it's gonna insta force your fade. Now you're just unsafe. I really want to see if Dez is gonna be so committed to this. I want to see some new things. Don't send the thing, monkey, please. Okay. That's actually a nice timing of the engage with the monkey going to the back as soon as the ult comes out.
Two people have gone down. There's the grab with the Death Blossom combo. That's what they were looking for earlier, but there's still a lot of back and forths in the kill feed with mostly all Arlington now. With player going down, it is going to be Wichita holding strong. Or I'm sorry, Arlington had them all backwards.
Arlington not letting Wichita hold strong, really.
Thank you.
There it is. I kind of need to see, like, there's kind of like this mid-range where the Reaper kind of really struggles that thinks need to be exploited heavier against Dez. Because right now, Dez is kind of just like walking around and like shooting at people, and then he's kind of like people walking into him, it feels like. Which is not really great. Oh, that anti's big. That's going to be an engage. But, oh, I say that, but that grandma is now paced.
These antis have been really good. It's just the capitalization on them is not always there for Arlington. I mean, for Wichita.
Grandma just got run over by a giant genetically engineered monkey. I know it's Christmas is over, but is this like the new phase of that? This is where like we're progressing here. Instead of a reindeer, it becomes a genetically engineered monkey from the moon. That could be interesting. That could be another film. That could be a film.
Little sci-fi horror spin-off there.
Yes, yeah, I think that's good.
Player's got this pulse bomb here. He's hunting for a target, looking for that support, of course, throws it into the mess of them. No stick or kill off the tail end, but there's still plenty of kills coming through from Wichita at this time. Another one coming through, and well, there's 2:35 left on the clock. Not sure about that Death Blossom commit. Hopefully he's gonna be switching.
Yes, I think now's the time, Dez. I think we've seen it. We've seen that it works somewhat. Not okay, cool.
There we go.
A little bit late on that, but kind of
gotta wait a little longer for them to change.
Debating me, being like, I'm gonna make you maul just a little bit longer, and then we're gonna go. But divisive ult advantage here. And now once that monkey goes in with Nano, it's gonna be so hard to try and remove them from this choke.
Even with Rally online here from Colby, they did manage to punch through a little bit of the defense. There it is, 2 now in the kill feed for Arlington. They've been anti-build, so pretty nasty coming through. A lot of burn damage onto Soap. Wow, he took so much damage so fast, regardless of the huge health bank. Didn't matter though, clutched it out in the end, and well, Wichita needs to hurry back if they're even gonna contest. Worse.
That was my monkey. I can just...
That's it.
That should be it. The Dragons. Kills 7?
Yeah.
Kills 8? Kills 9? No, kills 9.
Sleeping monkey there on the point and antied on top of it, burned down so fast. Arlington has this trickle on hand, easily in the bag, continuing to push the cart.
Yep, a very strong first map for Wichita has been completely flipped on its head. Series hasn't been the same since. Been almost completely in Arlington's favor at most points in the match. And it's been a little rough out here. I mean, this primal play. I wish this was my monkey. I wish I could just jump into a room with a Brigitte, Ana, and Hanzo and live. I mean, he just goes like 20 seconds. Like, not 20 seconds. That's hyperbole, obviously. But like, so long without taking such a small amount of damage considering that's a Hanzo. I mean,
yeah.
Man,
well, he took a huge chunk originally. I thought he was going to get burned and then just pulls out the hat trick, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, man, I'm just invincible now. What will they do to me? I'll just punch you all into the wall, and then you just, that's one of the most fun things ever. And nice. I remember back when this was first found, and everyone was like, oh, the storylines forgot. You know what? That never went anywhere. That's sometime in the.
It's just two friends posing at the security camera, okay? You do
I
it
was
when
doing
you
the
walk into
Sombra
Walmart.
Do you remember the Sombra ARG? Were you there for that? The 6 months, 7 months of people being like, yeah, there was like 6, 7 months of like, maybe even longer than that. I think it might have even been closer to a year where like people were like, Sombra was teased, and then there was like an ARG that spent like a year where people were like going through like 20 different things, hacking stuff, puzzles, and all this kind of stuff. And then after that, they were like, this sucks. And they were like, we'll never do this again. And they never did it again. So they learned their lesson on that one. But that was an interesting time to be alive. Every day, another YouTube video would come out. Sombra ARG step is solved for a year. And it's like, we finally got Sombra, guys. That was one of the steps.
You know, they know how to talk it up, right? A lot of, there's gonna be a lot of poke damage coming through, at least initially from Arlington. This turtle put some pressure on, obviously not anymore as Hanbei has removed it from the equation. Wichita moving around a bit on this high ground to put a little pressure here onto Arlington. Not sure how well they're going to do against Julian on this McCree, just waiting for them though.
Yeah, this Cassidy's gonna do a really good job of trying to shut down. Yeah, it happens. Slip of the tongue. It always. It happens even now. It's 5 years of that, 6 years of that, and it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But the Cassidy's gonna do a really good job of trying to shut down these angles that are gonna be taken right now. You can try to shut down the Tracer on the side. You can shut down the Echo if they look for flanks, because in the medium range you just kind of win, unless they hit you with stickies, in which case you die instantly because they sticky you, press E, and then you're dead. As the Echo chooses.
Yes. I mean, that everyone's been shredded by an Echo that way. You take a full face of stickies and wow, that was initially lucky by player, and then it played out exactly how I expected from Julian to take him out. But not after the flashbang, surprisingly. Trance is forced out though, thanks to Julian's pressure onto Hanbei there. Goes ahead, tries to keep himself alive, and well, there it is. The stickies coming through from Fluffy but deadly. He's getting a nasty pocket from Trasherlin once again. This Sky Force has just been deadly. Oh, does pay for it with his life. He goes out of sight and where he can't be healed.
How fast was that? How much damage was Hanbei doing to have Transcendence right there? What? He had this as the Baptiste. Hanbei, are you okay? What have you done? What's happening? That was insane, but it doesn't matter. They lose out in the long run because with the Transcendence, they can't push fast enough. Like you said, it was forced out, not a conscious decision to use it to move forward. Now you don't have it for the Supercharger. This is now a rough situation. You have to back up. This Echo on the side could get caught out at any time. I mean, Hanbei did amazing. There almost has another Transcendence, but it convert off of it.
Oh, stickies came through, and well, there is the Supercharger run out. Jillian, there it is. The flash and headshot, easy peasy. Trance is being used once again by Hanbei. Man, that was fast like you're talking about. Fluffy but deadly trying to find this flux here as he's duplicated Sigma, but taking so much damage, gonna be ripped out of it before he can execute. And unfortunately, he's the only one left.
Yeah, only one left under fire, and this is the gambit, right? Ever since that what was that second map where they didn't touch? Or not where they didn't touch. What was second
King's
map?
Row?
King's Row, yeah, that was the one they didn't touch. That was
Yes.
the second map where they didn't touch. Man, my brain going crazy right now. I'm getting echo beamed IRL. So what's happening? So after that map, it's kind of feel like it wasn't the same team. The confidence wasn't quite there, and they've kind of just slowly and gradually just kind of looked a little bit worse and worse, and it kind of can happen in series like this. Mentality is super important, but if they can turn it around here with this fight, I mean, they kind of have to. It's going to be last fight.
It's clutch time here, and another anti has landed onto Julian. Goes ahead, gives the room to let it wear off and let himself heal up. That's going to be the Diva Bomb right over the top. Takes down Julian, turrets out of play. It's going to be a lot of damage off the table, and Wichita looking good as they're continuing to aggress forward here. They've got a ton of kills now, and that's going to be the first point capped.
Okay, this is the turn. This is the part. We push through second point fairly quickly, and then we cap third with time and stuff like that, and then we have the confidence renewed and we go to map 5. That's kind of what the the mentality has to be here for Wichita State. We have to be able to turn it around, not get too caught up on how long it took to capture first point, because we still have 2 more points to play, and then after that another round. So you got to keep your mental strong the entire time. It's a big thing in just competing in general in any esports, sports, or anything for college, any level. It's gonna be mentality comes heavy, because if you aren't playing your best because your mental is going down, I mean, you're just nerfing yourself, really.
Pretty much. And it's so important to make sure that it's balanced. Holy cow, 2 kills with the Deadeye from the high ground. That is going to be rough, trying to push into that and follow up. Everyone's getting shredded from Wichita now, and it's definitely going to be a tough battle. I like that you mentioned they need to ignore how long it took to cap the first point goal and gotta focus on pushing for this next one.
Yeah, it seems like the combos are just not getting a lot of the value that they should. The Nano Monkeys going in, there's not really a play by their DPS. What you have to do when you set up a Nano Monkey, DPS has to go in, because there's so much initial burst damage that comes down with the Monkey. The slam is going to hit like 4 people, who are going to do a lot of damage. You're cleaving 4 or 5 people with that beam as well. Your DPS need to be in a position to really just go and capitalize off it. It can't just be, we're going to Nano Monkey in. Okay, we're going to Nano Monkey in when the Tracer set up with Pulse Bomb and Echoes speeding people and sticking people and that kind of stuff. We're not quite seeing that here from Wichita State. They're just getting desperate. And that's why I said, you get desperate, you start playing worse.
Yeah. And that's when you make the most amount of mistakes as well. Your comms get a little bit crazy. There is Fluffy but Deadly already taken out of the picture. Super Juice there, probably utilizing that Amp Matrix to just pepper him out of the sky. His primary fire is nasty. We've seen how much damage it can do. Rez is successful, but TW has been taken down, and it could be really difficult for Wichita without their second tank here. They're continuing to try and hold the point, but push the point, but Arlington, 27 seconds and ults for days.
Kind of what I said, they're feeling desperate. You saw there, they're committing ults in a fight that should have been a reset 2 kills ago, and they just keep committing ults to it. They feel like they have to do something or it's over. And now, because of that, they've lost their ult bank they could have accrued in this next fight, and they're walking into 3 very critical ultimates. That Bongo's going to go down, TW is going to jump up and going to get instant melted. It's going to be a hard fight to be sure.
And Dez has Molten Core. He's probably going to throw that all in their path of travel. Yeah, absolutely disgusting, trying to step onto the point between all this incoming damage from Arlington, one after another. Wichita's trying to do their best to stay on the point, but with Julian uncontested on the high ground, that's it. It's going to be Arlington taking the series.
Yep, and that's going to be Arlington pushing themselves higher up in those standings. And I mean, I think both these teams were 6-1 and 6-2. Arlington's gonna go move to 7-1, and Wichita's gonna move to 6-3. So that could have been actually the time for Wichita to go ahead of them right there. But instead, gonna be sitting here, kind of wondering where that luster, that mojo went from those first 2 maps. And I feel like it's unfortunate to say it, and that it kind of happened because of a snowball of fact kind of struggled on Kings Row after doing so well. And they almost got full capped on that overtime, and that can that mental damage does take a toll. I know it's happened before to teams and players and all that kind of stuff. No one's immune from it, and no one is expected to be immune from it. Everyone's human. Everyone feels like when stuff like that happens, man, it's it just sucks, and it just gets in their head, and you start thinking about it no matter what. But I mean, still plenty of the split. First game of the split, right? There's still plenty of games to go, playoffs to go, all that kind of stuff. You can turn it around. You can't be too. You can't linger on it, because that's just going to make you play worse the next match, and that's the worst thing that can ever happen, is the last match affects your next match. Just leave it in the past. It happened.
Exactly. And it's an issue as old as time. They call it the yips, right? When you start getting those nerves and you can't quite get into your mojo and your rhythm, that flow state you're looking for. And it's really hard, and that's part of the growing experience, and something that is fantastic to have in the collegiate league and scene. It's definitely a huge benefit to be able to move past that, and it is going to set these teams apart from the lower and the mid-tier teams. Teams that know how to shake that off and do a reset to come back and continue playing their A game will keep having that aggression and keep making it super tough for the other team to push into them or keep those fundamentals. And this is where you get tested the most, is here in the competitions. And better to build this skill during season than to build this skill during playoffs.
Yeah, and I think something that's kind of like underlooked at is like the fact that all these players competing are like young players, like they're young people. They're
Yes,
not even young
yes.
players; they're young people. Some of them are young
Mhm.
players as well. It's very hard to find veteran presence. Like maybe they like this game has been out for 6 years, but a lot of those people that have come and gone through the collegiate scene or in tier 2 or in tier 3, and those like veteran presences are very hard to come by in collegiate. Um, they're young players and they're young people. And a lot of the time, the mental game can be a very big deciding factor with those things. Where, with I know in a lot of other esports, this is like esports and sports in general. It's like the young people need someone to guide them. So, like in League of Legends, for example, you have a lot of these old guard retiring or moving to inactive positions, but they're like when they play on teams, they don't get rattled. Like they don't have the mental stuff that younger players, and they talk about it. They're like, this is just something we don't have. So every map that goes on, more you're gonna build that up.
Absolutely. And it actually looks like we are going to jump over for a quick break before we interview Tiki from UT Arlington here, our winner of our previous match. So, folks, we'll be back in a sec with Tiki. Hi, folks, and welcome back to week 9 of EGFC. We are here with Tiki, who just won our previous match of UT Arlington versus Wichita State. Tiki, welcome, and thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on your win.
Thanks for having me again.
How are you feeling, and what's kind of the mindset of the team coming off of this most recent set of games?
Well, we have a different feel from last semester. I was main tank last semester, and with some complications of rotating players around, I was moved to off tank. So it's definitely a different feel, but we're still very confident in our playing ability to actually go pretty far. So
Nice. Now, I want to take you back to your Kings Row map here when you guys are on the third round, pushing
yep.
it in overtime after you've obviously capped it with the small time bank before, and you just keep going.
hmm
What was the energy and the comms like for all of you guys during that time?
It got pretty loud. I'd say specifically for our now main tank Soap, he uh he started peaking his mic just a little bit, but I mean it keeps that energy going, and especially with us being like decently higher ranked players in general, like we've all hit Masters, GM, and stuff. It was definitely like we were just kind of feeling it and just going with our own game sense. Really, the comms are just a bunch of excitement.
Nice. Now, the last question I want to ask you before I toss it over to Worse is, what do you guys as a team do before games to either get yourself in the right mindset or prepare yourself for who your opponent is, or maybe some pre-game rituals you guys do? What goes on?
For the most part, I think some of us try to queue a little bit of ranked or like quick play or something just to get in the mindset of actually playing the game. But we don't really watch back opponents and stuff, trying to like figure out strategies that will work. For us, it's mostly just getting our own uh individual skill up to scratch before we play. We don't really look too much at other teams.
Keeping the fingers warm, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very important, that one. And I guess kind of after that King's Row, did you kind of feel the momentum of the match kind of shift in your favor? Because it felt like what happened was off the control, 2-0 for them, very
Mm.
competitive still from you guys, but then King's Row, you come out that third round, you guys do a great job and then full hold them on that first point. And then from there, it just felt like you guys had control of the entire series. Was there like a shift behind the scenes, or was that purely just from a spectator point of view?
Well, I guess we could say the shift was me getting off when we were doing rush mirrors or something. I went on to Zarya, which I know, I didn't do that well with my grabs. I heard plenty that
Hey,
you
it
know,
happens. It
but
happens. I
you know,
sympathize.
yeah, I guess it was just the synergy of the bubble and actually being able to use that as aggro that actually shifted us into the driver's seat on King's Row. And then after that, I think it was just that got us into the actual like movement of being a team a lot easier, and we were just a lot more coordinated after that.
And you guys did very well last semester, placing yourself in the top half of the league. And I guess now, first win of the new split. How are you guys? How are you guys feeling this next semester? Not coming up.
I think it might be a little bit more of a challenge just because, like, for me personally, I'm swapping roles, but I think once we get it all in, like, into a rhythm, I think we're gonna be even better.
Good to hear. It's good to
Nice.
hear.
Guys are probably going to be really deadly coming up as you continue to refine and climb the rankings here in the EGFC League. Tiki, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out or props to? Floor's yours.
I'd like to give a shout out to my team and also my parents who are watching. I'd also like to give a shout out to Drew, who was our esports coordinator. He's done so much for our program. He sadly had to go to a different school, but we really do appreciate all he's done for our programs here at UTA. So
Nice. Well, it's nice to hear that mom and dad and some of the staff are getting love as well. Tiki, you did fantastic, of course, in all of your games. And congratulations again on your win against Wichita. And, as you continue to move forward, we look forward to seeing how you guys grow, and good luck in the future.
thank you.
Well, folks, we do have another match coming up shortly after this. We're gonna take a quick break before we jump straight into it. But Worse, you want to get anything off your chest before we drop it over?
It'll be a good game coming up. So stick around, or else.
That's right. University of Hawaii versus University of Montana. We'll see you on the other side, folks.